again, my friends. Once more, welcome back to the cellar that is Leopard Street. Cellar of lovely, cool temperatures. This one, a little bit different. This is a planning video. I'm looking at the next stages of the layout and why certain things I'm bringing certain bits and pieces forwards and whatever. This is Leopard Street. Okay, what we've got here is Leopard Street Station. We have platform 1 where Thomas is sitting. Come this way slightly. There's a track that I refer to as the stub, which is where the N2 is, loco storage. Platform 2 currently has the Flying Scotsman. Platform 3 is empty. Platform 4 is holding Bucky and the J52. And platform 5 is empty. Now I've put the platforms back in. Oh, you actually said something for once. Let me pick that one up. It was a little bit more of a squeak, but anyway, never mind. Decided to join in. Put the platforms back in. There's a piece of track down there. Now this is going to be platform 6. There's going to be a crossover here. It's got a pair of, I'm just trying to work that out, pair of left-hand points. This is going to go that way. So we're going to come down here, go off to the left, onto the adjacent road. Now the adjacent road is going to be roughly where the tape measure is. The tape measure is currently set at 50 inches. And that is sized so it can take those 4 coaches, which are my longest coaches, and one of these 2 little locos. And there is a reason for that. This is going to be the goods head shunt, so I need coaches into it. I've got the 2 points to do that crossover. That's probably going in this weekend. So the next video is going to be a track laying video. And what we're going to look at is crossover, and I'm going to bring in platform 6, comes all the way around here, connects to here. Obviously it's going to require soldered sleepers, cutting and so on and so forth there. It's going to require a cat to get out from under my feet. This section along here is going to be, it'll go up to a point. That'll be a single power feed. That's easy. I can put the point in. I can put the little bit onto board N at the end. I've got the buffer stops for that. I'll be fitting the other point and its little stub of track. Its design, it's a 2-foot length of board, and you can have some of these medium points. The idea is, it'd be the other way round, but the idea is a freight train can come in, roll up on this line, it can stop, uncouple, and I believe I do not have the slots set for the uncouplers, so I'm going to have to work out exactly where the points go. I'm going to have to cut the slots for the uncoupler, because the train's going to come in here. Obviously the crossover is going to go, the 1 point will be here, so it'll have to stop about here, uncouple. It can then move forward and come back down here and clear off to the turntable. Shunting engine can either then come in or be sat in that little end section, couple on, drag them forwards to the end, and then it can set back into where I'm going to plan the goods yard. Now, why, you may wonder, is all the coaches? Why worry about that? Well, here we have a little Y point, and the coaches have to clear the Y point that way with a shunting engine, because they are then going to set back over this point, and I could do these either way around. I could have a left hand here and a left hand here, or the left hand here and a right hand here, which is what I'm actually going to do. Doesn't really matter. But if I do it this way round, if I do it the other way around, I'm going to have to space them out a bit differently. So there we go. What we have here is 3 sidings, and they're going to be spaced reasonably. They're not going to be at the 50mm spacing. They're going to be a little bit further apart. They're going to be closer to this. And there's going to be a cleaning platform here, one there, and one there. And these sidings need to be about 4 foot long. They don't need the full 50 inches. They just need to be able to take in comfort 4 of those coaches and not foul the point work. So you're probably talking about 4 foot from there down. So it'll go about a foot or so onto that board. Then there'll be some buffer stops. Job done. Yay. That gives me 3 coach storage roads. Using them's a little bit convoluted because basically they're kickbacks. So it's going to mean a shunting engine drags coaches out of the platform road, all the way around there, comes all the way back up here, pushing them in. It'll then have to drop them off. Another engine will have to go on the other end, or one will have to run round, and then it can set them back into here. But it means I've got space to put 3 rakes of coaches over here out of the way. Storage on this layout is a little bit limited, so 3 full-length coach, well, 3 coach sidings that can take a full rake is going to be useful. That's that. Now, this is the other reason I've got both of these two, Bucky and the J52, and they're both really going to be shunting engines. The idea is one of them sits on that end of a train, and one of them sits on that end of a train. Doesn't matter which way around they go, but one of them ends up working the goods yard and the carriage sidings. The other one ends up working the platform roads, and they work together. Cooperative. This is teamwork. This is not teamwork. This is getting in the way. She doesn't care. Fair enough. But then we're going to come down and we're going to have this point. Now there's a track that runs down here. Position you can see it. Like this. Runs down here all the way along, kicks onto that point, goes back off onto the main tracks. This is where goods trains will come in. They will come off onto this line here. And then we have this point here. We have this point. This point here branches off, and then there's 2 more. And what that gives me is 4 goods roads. And I'm not entirely sure how long they're going to be yet, but this pink card is roughly where the goods shed is going to be. And the road here that's currently got the KD height gauge, that will be the goods shed road. It'll go through the shed and it'll come out the other end. Sorry, that one's not... I need to work out. It's either that one that's the goods shed road or this one or other of them. I think it is this one. Yeah, I put the office piece on the wrong side on that one. It should be on this side. So this will go through, it'll run out the other end and it'll stop. And there'll be a little platform over here. This one is going to be a shorter siding. And if the platforms comes out, say about here, this siding road will stop ahead of it. That's basically where the brake vans are going to get dumped. So I've got a goods shed road, I've got a road for brake vans. I've then got a 4th goods road that comes along here. These are the coach tracks. That can go pretty much the full length. And that can have whatever I want put onto it. In theory, it could have another point somewhere. It doesn't need one. This is, I've got 2, a goods shed road and another long siding road. That's enough. Then I've got this one. And then we've got this little curious road at the back. Now, the idea with that is it's going to just be a road for putting a train on. A goods train, but a train. So a train that comes in can just set back down into that road. It'll have plenty of length and it's going to go around. And when it gets to about there, there's going to be a point, or maybe 2. And they'll probably be smaller Y points. They're not going in yet. I'm not going to do them for quite a while, because I am still thinking about putting a little factory or something over there. Not decided yet. Basically, that road for now is going to come off there and is going to go around a 3-foot length of track, and then it's going to stop. That's fine. So that gives me 3 long and a short goods road, and that gives me a local goods yard. Now, the thinking is, this is the sort of the head canon behind the layout. Go off this way, and that's eventually going to be a junction signal, and it's going to be a junction signal because the road splits into 2, because I've got a main road and a storage loop. The head canon is it goes off beyond the bridges that are here, and that diverging route is the goods yard, the main town goods yard. This is a small yard. This is like the town centre. This is where van traffic can be brought in. Milk and express stuff comes off the platforms. Because let's face it, I've got 6 platform roads. I mean, right, platform 1 is a bit awkward because trains can't run into it, but they can depart from it. Platform 6 is also part of the goods run round, so operationally a little bit more limited. But I've got 4 main platform roads, so yeah, there's plenty of space. Now, the plan on how and when. Well, as I said, this weekend, I'm going to look at getting these 2 roads here in, or at least platform 6, the crossover at that end, and then I'm going to come back this way as far as I can get with the track I've got. It'll probably come back further than this. It won't be stuck down. Big advantage I've got here is this section has got basically nothing under it. I mean, there's some gizmos. Slightly annoyingly, that board controller is where that point is. When I originally did this, the points were going to be a bit further over, which is why this area here is clear and that bit isn't. So I'm going to have to move that. But it's not wired into a great deal at the moment, so that won't be a huge problem. Yeah, this point won't be going in straight away. So I say that bit of track will be coming on. Its power feed will be a bit further over where it's fine. I can put this in. The power feeds can be left dangling. Not really a huge problem. I can get some sleepers cut in here. This has already got the plastic on it. I can get some sleepers cut into there. Get the tracking, get it soldered, get the rails cut, get it filed slightly back. Job done. That's the goal for the weekend. If I can get those in, brilliant. Stretch goal, so to speak, is getting it powered up. The points at the end won't be. Board N, which is the little 2-foot board at the end, does not have a servo. It doesn't even have board controller yet, never mind a servo controller to run on it. So that point will not be operable for a while. It'll be, I mean, it'll have the droppers and everything it needs connected, but it won't have the rest of it. But I want platform 6 working. The point on this line here, there isn't a servo controller for this board yet either. There is a board controller. I've got servo controllers. I can put one of those in. I don't need to because the other crossover doesn't work. I can just have that point as long as it gets a relay sorted. It can get wired in. It's probably not going to get a relay though. I'm going to need to order a quad relay board. So the goal for the weekend is track, and this bit probably will be powered down. I will, however, be able to use it for just sticking stuff on. So that's that. Now the big one is going to be ordering all of this point work and a new box of track. So I'm going to bring a hunt around. I think Rails have got a discount on for the weekend. I think it's if you order it today. This is Friday. If you order it today, you get a discount. So I might be putting an order in with them shortly. And if I remember, I'm going to put a track cleaning coach on it as well, and a box of track. Because I've only got a few more. I've got enough track to do that road, this entry bit. It might need a little bit at the end, but I've got various offcuts I can do that with. I think I've got 4 lengths of track left, so I can do that. I can get the points in. I can get this side here laid to wherever it needs to be. Job done. These offcuts, I mean, the other piece of track I've got will go between the, effectively using the offcuts, comes around here. I've then got 1 length left over if I don't order a box of track, and that will just become that siding down there. So basically I have 1 siding. Can live with that. And we power all this up. So that's coming up over the next couple of weeks. She's still here. It's not moved. I am going to do some train running. I haven't done any. I did a little bit earlier. I mean, this is why the G5 and that's around here. I just had a little bit of a play. I've still got the signalling boards and stuff to do over here. There's lots of little jobs to do. But I've been thinking, this board, I already know this board has to come out again. This is board L. Over there's another DTC8. This is going to need, it already needs one more. Platform 3 is not on the block detection system, which it needs to be. Interestingly, I then have two choices. This section here will all be block detected, but there to probably here will be one block. This point might be another. I may make this point part of effectively the station throat block, just because I'm not going to be storing trains on that bit there. So I can do all of those in one go up to here. So that'll be channel 9, that'll be channel 10. I've got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which is slightly annoying. As such, I might not be block detecting all of the sidings. They won't be operated automatically, and I won't be storing locomotives in them. The only reason for putting a block detection in there is for JMRI to keep track of where locomotives are, because if they disappear off the block detection system, it forgets about them. So I may have to put that in, and I may have to do what I did on this board underneath it. And in there somewhere, there's a couple more smaller block detectors. I may have to put some of those in. Does mean the board controller for this board is going to have to come out and be rebuilt. Now that's useful because I can take the one out of here, I can put it down there. Because it's going to have to support talking to quite a few more devices. The other little thing I need to do, and I've got the bits to do this, so this will be coming up, because stuff arrived this week. I'm just trying to find something I can point with. Preferably something plastic, because the track's powered on. Now, actually, I'll just do it over here. So this little piece of, yeah, I'll do this one. This little piece of track here, pretend it's longer. I've got block detectors now, so if a loco is on this section, brilliant, I know where it is. All of these sections over here. I know there's a loco sitting on them, but I don't know where. What I want to do is have a little sensor, and this will be an infrared sensor. Little point. I'm going to have to make my own because I want them to work in a specific way. I want to be able to drive a train over it, and it'll go, oh, there's a train here. Yeah, okay, brilliant. As you can see, between vehicles, there are gaps. So if I have an infrared sensor looking up, it's going to keep going on, off, on, off, on, off. So I need to put a debounce delay circuit. And I'm going to use basically the same circuit the DCC block detectors use. It'll be a 555 timer, and it'll have a hold time of about a second. So it'll see something, and it'll just say, until this sensor goes clear for a second, I'll stay holding. Brilliant. Now, if you think about it, with this low-speed shunting engine, it's going to run, say the sensor's here, it's going to run over, and it'll get to about here before that clears. Well, I can look at when that clears. I'm not looking at, there's a loco sitting here. I'm looking at a loco has gone past that point. And this, if we have a little look over here, that is my departure system point. Now, if I put one of these sensors just a little bit after where there's a gap in those sleepers, that's all one block, that curved track. So say my little shunting engine rumbles past out there and it's got some coaches behind. If I put one of these sensors in there, it'll go red. Well, yeah, okay, fine. The block will be red already. But when that sensor clears, I now know whatever has run over there has cleared that point and can stop and come back. I don't have to run them all the way down to that signal there with its little detection block to know things have cleared that point. That's the sort of sensor I want to be able to do. What I want to do as an operation is, say Bucky is on this road here. Train has come in. Scotsman's been out, come back, is now pointing the other way. So Bucky's going to come in and couple up. That will be manual. What I'd like to be able to do is say, take the coaches from here. I know I've uncoupled them at the other end. Take the coaches from here, please. go all the way down there, off onto the departure road, use it as a head shunt, and then come all the way back down here onto platform 2. And when you get to a defined point, which will be up here somewhere, stop. And it'll be set up to work with the uncoupler. So it'll be a case of the train has come in, cleared. I mean, that means the sensor will be about here somewhere. Come in, cleared. Ooh, done. Now I'm going to have to come under this board. And there is space at that one, which is good. Further up, there's relay boards, which is annoying. So I can drill the hole. But that becomes a single operation. That is very repetitive. It is ideally suited for automating, but it needs a position sensor that can see both a locomotive and a coach, including a coach that isn't powered. So we're going to be able to look at that in the not too distant future as well. I've got all the components. I don't think I've got one to hand. I don't think I have. No. I bought some little modules. They're just infrared sensor modules. They've got an emitter, bounces up, comes back down off the bottom of the wagon. I might need to put a bit of white paint on the bottom of some things, but what I'm hoping is a little hold circuit will be able to cope with the fact it only triggers occasionally when things go over it. Those sensors, unfortunately, don't do what I want them to do. They don't have the hold functionality, for one thing. And secondly, they are active high. Now, I need active low because I'm using the PCF 8575 input boards. So I need an active low sensor. So I'm going to have to rebuild those and come up with my own little design and possibly even get some circuit boards made. But we'll do it. We'll breadboard it first off. Because I'm also going to use the same things on all of these goods sidings and these carriage sidings. So I can say there's a train up there. Put the coaches in coach storage road A. Press. And the loco can do that. And the key bit is while the loco is doing that, I'm still going to have to come in and uncouple. These will all need uncouplers, and checking the space under here to do that. Yeah, there is. This is all going to need lots and lots of fiddling to make it work, but it's doable. But while a locomotive is doing that on its own, I can go off and do something else, like couple up and uncouple the next train to depart. Basically, I want to do the fun bits, and then I want trains to be able to do things in the background while I'm watching. But that's it for this one. This is just a short video with me and Smudge. Say hello. Meow. Now look. Yeah, this is just a short little planning video. This is what's coming up in the not too distant future. This bit, the key is once all this track is down, at least once all the point work's down, the difficult bit's done. But once all the track is down, the layout is track complete. I've then got a lot of testing to do before I start doing more painting. I've got all that back scene there. That needs to go all the way around there. I need to do all of that. And it's model railway. There's any number of jobs still to do. As you can see, I put the cork in for here. That went in after the last video. That got painted during my lunch break the other day. The weather being the weather is, it dried fairly quickly. So that is in. This gap down here where all this clutter is, yeah, I'm thinking that may end up as like the backs of houses or something, but that's a job for another day. Anyway, that's been it for this video. I am going to do some running videos. So like I say, if you've got any suggestions of things you'd like to see, if you want to see mainline trains going in and out, we are going to have some fun with stuff running around, multiple trains on the lower level going around. But open to suggestions for what people want to see. We've got passenger, mainline, local. We've got decent sized freight trains. We've got small freight trains. We've got about 13 odd locos now. One thing I have learned already is the TMD I built is not big enough. Yeah, 3 Pacifics is pushing it a little bit on there. It doesn't help the fact that the J26 is lurking and Cheshire's lurking, my D49. but never mind. Anyway, they should all be down here, really. So that's it. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully it's not too hot if you're in the UK and you can cope. If you're elsewhere, I'm hoping you're enjoying listening to all the tales of woe we have in the UK with hot weather. I dare say some people are finding it quite amusing. But there we go. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Likes, comments, shares, etc. More than welcome. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much and goodbye.